Hello, and we're back for another session of practice. So exciting. Okay, so let's see. Today I am teetering on the edge of should I go to church? Shouldn't I go to church? I've changed around my sitch here where I've got my mic now on this side and my music on this side, so it's a little bit easier, I think, to see things. Anyway, the whole thing about church is that like I love God. But because of what's been going on with my head and stuff, I've been, like my thyroid and everything, I've been just trying to like driving for me right now. My husband doesn't really want me driving. But I've been okay. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, like this morning I listened to a sermon online, actually two, so that I could just kind of, get my head on straight. And I really do enjoy worship and everything. It's just really difficult. So I'm teetering back and forth. But for right now, I'm going to practice and see where I'm at after practice. Because usually during practice, I kind of feel weird or not weird or something. Like sometimes I get symptomatic during practice. Blah, blah, blah. More than you wanted to know, but there you go. Because this is technically a vlog, so you get to know all those silly things about me. Getting easier. Definitely getting easier. The exercise by Fiddlehead, which if you want to look up his channel, it's Fiddle and then HED. So if you're interested in knowing what I'm doing, it's basically just, this is what I learned from him. You pull it, right? Rock to the next string. And this is the part that's most important because it helps you align your arm. So and it really gets your body accustomed to those different changes in positions. Because I have a 5-string and not a 4-string, it is a little bit more difficult. The strings are closer together, and for those of you who have been watching, you already know that because I've said it. But gosh, this is such a different setup for me, having the mic on this side. Oh, it's a little weird. So what I noticed from watching my vlog is that I tend to extend my pinky up. So like if I'm not playing my pinky, it tends to fly off on its own. Yep, that's always pretty. I feel like I need some rosin maybe. yeah, something's a little off. And whenever something's off, it could be a number of things. So I'm hanging up my violin at the moment because I'm going to wipe it off the strings. Sometimes you need to do that. And then I'm going to put more rosin on my bow. Seems kind of counterproductive, but actually it could be just the thing. So, when I got this from Mike, our mandolin guy, our mandolin player in the group, he said that the hairs, they're microscopic hairs or small hairs or things that grip, right? The imperfections. And plus the rosin helps it grip too, but I don't know. All stuff I don't know. And you can correct me, and that's fine if you think it's something else. But the darker rosins, I guess, tend to be more tacky, or he said sticky, which was interesting. So the darker rosins are for winter, is what he said. And by the way, this is La Opera Jade, in case you're interested. Okay. Let's see how we sound after a little rosin and wiping the strings. I can tell you it feels better. It feels a lot better. Sometimes I just like to mess around. It helps. I mean, to get used to different things. A little water helps everything. Okay. Now, I know I need to work on my phrasing, which is the length of the bow as I'm holding a note. I know that is something that is definitely something that's going to come with time. It's also needing to be practiced. So I'll try to practice a little bit of that today. I also want to, though, go to some of my, some of my other things that I've been working on. So I'm going to go back to this sheet. I'm not going to go back to the beginning of, I'm going to do the top exercise, but I'm not going to do the, well, maybe I will do the full exercise. You've probably heard this so many times. But actually, I haven't done the top of the previous sheet, which are jumps. So you see them on the top there. There's just a solid octave D to D jump. My question, though, is, you know, like those are supposed to be staccato. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. But I'm, and it's in 4/4 time. But the question is, do I do it all on one string, being open and just hitting the octave on the one string? Or do I jump over to the A string in order to do the high octave D? I'm not sure. I think I may try it 2 different ways and just see what happens, because it might be beneficial. I'm not sure how that works. I mean, it's definitely ringing when I do the open D. So in that sense, it's probably best not to cross over to the A string in order to hit the D, but rather to use the D string itself to jump up an octave, because then at least it'll stop the sound. This is staccato. And if it's ringing, that's not staccato. Then that's something else. So I mean, that's working. It's not beautiful sounding. So once again, I'm locking my knees, which is a bad practice. I need to not lock my knees. Thank you. that again. Now we've got octaves. So part of me is thinking that's not the intent of this exercise, is for me to do those jumps. However, I'm pretty certain of where that octave is now. And it certainly helped me. And I think I improved as time went on. Certainly, it's a good exercise just to kind of get myself acclimated to the octave on the instrument. And no, I don't play it perfectly. And no, I'm not worried about that. I can't be worried about it. It's not something that's going to be perfect. And I understand it's horrible on the ears. I'm not trying to tell you that practice sounds good all the time. Certainly for me, it doesn't. It doesn't sound great at all. Perfection is overrated. We're not trying to sound beautiful at this point. We're trying to get the more of the technical down, getting the fingers where they need to go, looking at notes and going, my finger goes here, and just getting that muscle memory created. Technique. What is playing an instrument if it's not, technique? At least in part. Or any instrument, including the voice. I mean, really, if you don't have a good, proper foundation, how are you going to play it? How are you going to sing? So moving on to E now, you'll be happy to know. I lost count. Starting again. The hard part. don't seem to have a problem with the first 8 measures. But after that, when I have to start doing that da 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 da, or yeah, da 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 da, because I'm having to fly with my fingers, and I'm not graceful yet, nor a good practitioner yet. I'm working on it. So I'm going to start on the second page, which is just a B flat for 2 measures. And just repeating this measure because it's so messed up. So while I try to get away from tension, after I try to get away from tension, there still is muscle that needs to be worked on and grown in order for this to have no tension, in order for this to have an ease to it, in order for it to seem like it's natural. I still have to work on my muscle development. And where I'm feeling it right now, especially when I'm doing these lower notes and having to extend my pinky and do all that, is right in here. Now, I have felt it in my bicep as well before. So like right here, the ligaments and the muscle is developing and it's changing and it's working on it. And certainly in this part of my hand, I'm also feeling the difference. And some of this stuff is not going to sound good until those muscles are developed and things happen. It's kind of like watching a baby stagger around for the first few steps of its life. It's not a great walker. It's not even a runner. It's kind of wobbling around. It's toddling. It falls down. I mean, all of those things. Everything comes back to that place of you have to crawl before you can walk. You have to sit up before you can crawl. And before you can run, you have to learn to walk. And that's where I'm at. Hopefully I'm at the crawling stage at least. Okay. Now, despite being though, I think one of the things though that we as practitioners of anything, because we're so worried about being successful, is that we don't take risks. And I think that's incredibly important. It's very important to take risks when you are learning something new. For example, when I go and play with the Gypsy Jazz group, I am not the best player. I'm the worst player. However, taking that risk, being in front of an audience, forces me to get better, forces me into a place where I'm not comfortable. And some of these songs, right, they are hard to play. They're not easy to play. They're horrible to play for me. But because I'm taking the risk and putting it out there, and actually even doing this vlog is forcing me to be a better player, faster. Oh, there's a good song. I haven't played that in a while. So, and then when I try new things when I'm on this channel, that's also something that makes me a better player faster. It's not going to make me perfect. It's going to force me into a place where I'm uncomfortable. And when we are uncomfortable, we grow. It's just, being scared to death is actually a really, really good thing sometimes, because it forces you into a place where you have to adapt. And that's what I'm doing, adapting as fast as I can. Sorry. I'm playing Daphne. It was written by Django. It is a swing tune. So if you're interested, by the way, the 2008 Gypsy Jazz or Django fake book is available online, totally free. All you have to do is look up 2008 Django Django fake book, and it'll pop right out. Currently, I'm playing the song. It's in the key of D. So when I tell you the keys, then you know, because there's a few floating out there, but the 2008 one is the one I'm working out of. It helps to hit the right note. Change this key in the bridge. Well, it has accidentals in the bridge. Let's do that again. So E flat is just one of those things you can't really play it. I mean, I could play it up here. I didn't even know I could do that. I mean, I knew I could play it higher up on a string, but I didn't know I could find the pitches. Wow. Some of the things that you learn. I would pat myself on the back for that one. That was, I mean, it didn't sound pretty, but I found the pitches. Okay, so if I had to play this, play it out live, it might sound kind of funny. I just love my resting violin face or my concentrating violin face. Isn't it terrible? Like every player has like this face that they make when they're concentrating. Guitar players are my favorite. I knew one guy who would chew, and I knew another guy who would flare his nostrils. And I knew another guy, oh my gosh, so funny. I mean, every one of us who's concentrating, you look, you watch, got guitar players and are just notorious. You can just see them like they do something, right? Sometimes they leave their mouth open. Sometimes they stick their tongue out. Sometimes they, when they're concentrating, just watch. Everybody has that resting violin face or that resting guitar face or concentrating, right? Ba 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 da da doo da. Okay, hitting a lot of cross strings. Woo! So here's part of my problem. I'm not using my hand. I'm using my elbow or my shoulder to switch the strings. I'm not even using my hand. I need to use my hand for this exchange. It'll make it easier. It'll make it more flexible, and I won't hit the strings so often, I think. So I can, even though to the ear it sounds terrible, and like I'm still making the same mistakes, to my hand, I can feel the difference, if that makes sense. That and there will be mistakes, but at least in that sense, when I'm using my hand is involved, and it's becoming acclimated to these little tiny changes. And so the more I use it, the better I will become. But right now, it just doesn't. It's not there yet. terrible. But improvements happen over time, not over moments. Well, that didn't quite sound right, did it? Of course it happens over moments. It happens over many moments. It happens not in a moment. Well, it does, but after many moments before. This is when philosophy hits a brick wall. That's okay. I'm going to let that one go for now. So, let's see here. Let's do I Can't Give You Anything But Love. It's a good song. It is in the key of F. It is written by J. McHugh D. Fields. This is probably two different people. So J. McHugh and then D. Fields in 1928. So it should be in the public domain by now. See, that's the difference. I have a pitch in my head that I think it should be, but it's written in F. So I was trying to play it in G in my head. Yeah. B flat always gets me a little bit off just because it's so close to the A. Weak pinky. Okay. So, assessment of this song. Definitely need to work on my pinky. Definitely need to, and it's funny because some days pinky sounds great, and certainly after I do exercises like the one that I did, earlier in the practice session, I feel like I move forward. However, sometimes when you're in the middle of playing a song, you're trying your best and it's just not coming. It's just not coming. We all have days where you're trying your best to do something and for whatever reason it's just not working. You try to figure out why that is, but sometimes it's someone watching that figures out, oh, that's what you're doing. I've been, and usually they've been there before, so it's like, okay, thank you for your help. However, I have no such luck with that right now. No one is telling me why that's wrong, but that's okay, because we just keep plowing through. I've had to discover a lot of things on my own in this journey. But I don't want to discount the people that have helped me along the way. Certainly, Jane Holiday and Chris Fargan for their encouragement, and the rest of the players for their encouragement have been paramount in my learning and striving to succeed. Always at the end of here and with your first finger, it is hard to do a vibrato. It helps not to hit the other strings. No, I don't know where I am. Oh, no, I do. Okay, What am I discovering here? Okay, well, that I'm working, that I'm in progress. I think I know the issue. See, sometimes you just have to stop and think. Wipe off the strings. If Jane were watching, she'd probably be applauding at this second. Yes! Wipe off the strings! Eesh. That sounds awful, doesn't it? It is what it is. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, we're going to move on from that. And you say, well, that was one of the more simple songs. Why can't you play that? You know, I'm not worried about perfection. I'm worried about technique. I'm worried about learning. I'm worried about having flexibility in my hands. I'm learning and to critique someone when they're trying to learn something and it's not constructive, you're not helping anybody. You might be making yourself feel better though. So this is If I Only Had a Brain. Harold Arlen wrote it, 1939. It is swing, though it is a slower swing. And I remember playing this song, but I haven't played it a long time, so. I could play that through again. And being in the key of E flat is challenging. The only way it could be worse would be if it was in the key of, what would that be, A flat? Because then it has a D flat in it too. So then I'm crossing over on a lower string with my pinky, and that makes it really difficult. So thank the Lord, this isn't too bad. And like I said, I have practiced this one before. I actually like the little runs in it. There's the da 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 da. That's run I've practiced before, but and that's written in. But the one that goes da 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 da, that's me. I'm throwing that in. I don't have to. I like it. I think it's kind of funny. You know, da 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 ba da. And the other thing is that there's lots of like rests here that I'm not taking, and perhaps that's because I'm learning the instrument. I know that when I sing, I definitely, I definitely don't break, but I think that's how it was sung in the movie. Because certainly you're not gonna go, I could while away the hours. Well, yeah, you would actually. While away the hours, conferring with the flowers. consulting with the rain. Da-da-da-da-da-da. My head, I'd be scratch. Ooh, today I need some help. My head, I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. 1, 2, 3. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so I suppose you would. I'm just terrible at taking those rests. So learn something new about myself. Well, not really. I had kind of known that I wasn't resting between, but I am trying to practice my vibrato. Maybe that's my excuse. It's a terrible excuse. Okay, let's see. One more and then we'll call it. I'll See You in My Dreams by Jones and Kahn. It was not giving me the year of which it was written, but I'll start over. Once again, string crossing. So, certainly still having issues with phrasing, having issues with string crossing. Still, I mean, just one step forward, 3 steps back. It's just the way it is. Maybe slowing it down will help. Okay, so something to keep in mind. If you're crossing over from an F sharp to a C, you are going to have to shift down slightly. Aha, you should know that. No, I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at me. But it wasn't until I slowed down that I figured that out. So once again, phrasing. And we're going to be working on that. I'm going to need to find an exercise to help me with my phrasing. But if you have any pointers or anything, I would very much love to hear them. I think it's just a matter of working through. I know when I was learning phrasing for singing, it was definitely working through pieces and then going back over like a run and making sure that my breath was prepared for the long note. So taking breaths at the right time was crucial. Therefore, having the bow in the correct position before I start the run to the long note will be crucial. So, there you go. All these things we learn. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day and that you enjoy it. Learn something new. Put yourself out there and try to become that thing that you are dreaming of becoming, because we all need special people. You are special and unique, and I hope that you go out into the world and do something awesome and amazing with your gifts and talent. All right. Have a great day. God bless.